The New York Giants just got fantastic injury news. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you very much. Please just take a quick second, like and subscribe. Trying to build an awesome community here of Giants fans where we can talk things out, have some friendly debates, speculate on who we think is coming in, all that good stuff. So don't miss out on being a part of that. Like and subscribe. Also, comment below, who are you hoping the Giants target in the draft, and who is a big-time free agent that you would like to see the Giants add this year? Like I said, I like having this community where we can, talk things out, bounce ideas off each other. So be a part of that and comment below. So there was a ton to unpack from John Harbaugh's opening press conference. I'm sure there's going to be other videos this week where I kind of reference back to some of the things he said. But one of the big takeaways I had from the press conference was actually something that Joe Schoen said. And he was asked about some injury updates on a couple of the Giants' key guys. Of course, that being Malik Nabers and Cam Skattebo. We're going to start with Malik Nabers. He said Malik is trending to hopefully be ready for training camp. Things can change, but that's the hope. And that right there is actually massive news, because I don't know how many of you have been following the Malik Nabers story, but a couple weeks ago he said things that were super worrisome. So I pulled up a tweet here from Jesse Morse. Not sure if any of you follow him on Twitter, but he's like a doctor who will kind of speculate on NFL injuries and actually does a pretty good job with that. But so Malik Nabers was asked a couple weeks ago if he still had a cane that he was walking with, and was asked if he thought he'd be ready, and he kind of said my body, I'm gonna start playing when my body's ready to start playing. I had a lot messed up in my knee, which is a little worrisome. And then what Jesse Morse commented about it was, huge red flag for Malik Nabers. Not all ACL tears are equal. He suffered a right knee ACL tear on 9/28. No specifics were ever released, but with his comments below, I'm concerned it's more than just the ACL. Initially, I was concerned about MCL and meniscus involvement. The fact that he's over 3 months out and still on crutches is concerning, and might mean he either had his meniscus repaired or had a second ligament reconstructed, or had a setback. His recovery might be closer to 12 to 15 months as opposed to 9 to 12 months. There's a possibility he starts the 2026 season on the physically unable to perform list and doesn't make his debut until mid-season. So I saw this and was just dead inside. Because, like I said, this guy, he doesn't have all the information, and that's kind of what I'll get into in a second. But he does a pretty good job speculating on the information he has. I remember he tweeted the second the video came out of Malik going down on the turf, instantly he was yeah, that's an ACL. He's very good at identifying these things and giving timetables. And when Malik is out there saying look, I'm going to be ready when my body says I'm ready. And you see him with a cane, it's worrisome. So to hear from somebody in the Giants organization that the plan is still for him to be ready at training camp is big. And Joe Schoen did mention, we don't know for sure, things happen, recover, everybody's recovery is different. But the fact that that is their expectation right now probably tells you that one of these more serious things that was discussed might be off the table. And that is big time, because John Harbaugh, one thing he talked about at his opening press conference is just how much he loves Malik Nabers. Says he's kind of a dream. He's never really had super great receivers in Baltimore. Zay Flowers is pretty solid, but I think he's a lot closer to being a Wan'Dale Robinson quality receiver than Malik Nabers. I'm trying to think back on some of the other great, good Baltimore receivers. I know he's used his tight ends there. Comment below, who's the best Ravens receiver that they've had under John Harbaugh? I feel like they got the end of Derek Mason's career, but that was a long time ago, and I know he was at his best for the Titans. Um, yeah, did they have DeAndre Hopkins for a minute? I'm blanking. And I think the fact that I know so little about their receiving core tells you all you need to know about the Ravens, and what kind of receivers that Harbaugh has had on his career. So, like Harbaugh said that he loved talking to Nabers, loved his joy and excitement, said he's got some great ideas. He said obviously he knew he'd be a top pick. They were never going to have a chance to draft him, and so he said to be able to coach him now is kind of a dream. And something I wanted to do just to kind of show you the impact a star receiver can have on a young quarterback is I want to compare Jackson Dart's rookie year to Joe Burrow's rookie year, and then I'm going to pull up at the same time Joe Burrow's second year, because if you remember Joe Burrow's rookie year, he played 10 games, I think, and then had a little bit of an injury. Looked pretty good in limited action, similarly to Dart. And then after his rookie year, they drafted Jamar Chase, who is a Malik Nabers level. I mean, maybe Nabers will never be as good as Chase. I think he will be, but it's bold to just immediately say Nabers is already as good as Chase because he's probably the best wide receiver of this generation. But he is that level of player. So we're going to look at these stats and just kind of see the difference going into year two and being a little bit more mature, plus adding that big number one wide receiver can do. So here we go. So when you compare Burrow's rookie year to Dart's rookie year, honestly, I think you could argue Dart's was better. Burrow certainly passed for more yards, had about 400 total yards more passing. And I should add, I think Joe Burrow played 10 games. Jackson Dart, if you remove he statistically played 14, but 2 of those were when Russ started and he just came in to run a read option for a play. He really played 12 games and, missed a chunk of some of those 12 games too. So, he didn't play that much more than Dart. 400 less passing yards, but has 450 more rushing yards. So, similar total yardage, threw 2 more passing touchdowns, despite throwing for less yardage, and same amount of interceptions. And then he had the 9 rushing touchdowns to go on top of it. So 24 total touchdowns for Dart compared to only 13 for Joe Burrow as a rookie. And then he had a higher quarterback rating and a higher QBR. So quarterback rating is the more traditional measures, how good are you as a passer. And even there he was better than Burrow. QBR adds your ability to run and scramble and how much value you're adding to a play with everything a quarterback does, and he's significantly higher than Burrow's rookie year there. But then you look at year 2 Burrow, and those numbers go up to 4,600 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, another 2 rushing touchdowns. QB rating went up 20 points, QBR went up 12 points. You can see just a massive, massive leap from year 1 to year 2 for Joe Burrow. And yes, some of that is just another year in the NFL, but a big part of that is they gave him one of the best wide receivers in the NFL to pair with him, and now Jackson Dart is going to have the same thing with Malik Nabers. So that is super important. And then the other bit of injury news, and this kind of all ties together, is it sounds like not only is Cam Skattebo, I don't think we were worried about him missing any of the season, but it sounds like he's going to be ready by OTAs, which are in late May. I think most people were expecting start of training camp, which is late July. But so to be ready for late May, not only does that mean he's going to be 100% by the time the regular season starts, but he's also that's enough time you can shake off the rust. You can add more muscle on top of just trying to work back and get the muscle he previously had. And I fully expect just beast mode Cam Skattebo to be here from the very first snap of the season. And it should make this offense just so much fun to watch. Something both Harbaugh brothers have done their entire career is they have built their teams through the run game and the trenches with that old school physical football mentality. And I think, with the Giants tight ends, they're going to do a lot of 2 tight end sets with Theo Johnson and Daniel Bellinger. maybe some Thomas Fidone. And then I think they're going to establish that physical running game with Skattebo. And just when those safeties try to creep up and try to stop Skattebo, that's when they hit you with the bootleg, hit you with the play action, and Malik Nabers beat you over the top. Or if you stack that box in the middle to stop Skattebo, that's where they hit you with a screen to Wan'Dale Robinson. Or, there's just so many options in this offense when you can be both physical and you can beat teams through the air. And it's going to be so much fun to watch. Lord knows we have been through some rough offenses. It's going to be fun to see an electric one. So I'm super hyped for it. You guys comment below. Let me know what you think on all of that. Like I said, let me know who you want them to target in the draft, who's a free agent you'd like to see. And then don't forget, please just like and subscribe on your way out.